and thank you for joining us. I am Alatishe Victoria, and here with me is my interpreter Gideon Israel. This is the Inclusive News Network. We're bringing you the latest news on the major stories of persons with disabilities, necessary informations and happenings around the nation and across the world at large. Now for the headlines. SCIAN calls for support to complete construction of rehabilitation center in Lagos State. NCPWD inducts over 90 newly employed staffs. Abia Assembly passes disability bills into law. 2023 population census to hold after election NCMPC. Lalu receives Abino Foundation, says partnership will include political participation of PWDs. 2023 census will be disability inclusive NPC. We'll be back in a jiffy to give you the major stories. Please stay tuned. Welcome back. The Spinal Cord Injury Association of Nigeria (SCIAN) has called for support from well-meaning individuals and corporate bodies to assist in completing the construction of the Lagos Rehabilitation Center. This is even as it urged state branches to set up awareness campaigns in commemoration of the International Spinal Cord Injury Awareness Day. They are to raise awareness on the plight of SCIAN in Nigeria. The interim national president, Sian Abdulwahab Matepo, made the call while commiserating the SCIAN Day at the Lagos Center on Sunday. The International Spinal Cord Injury (SCI) Awareness Day is celebrated annually on September 5 to raise awareness on current issues of concern for spinal cord injury individuals. The theme for the 2022 SCIAN Day is Conflict and Disaster, Prepare, Prevent. It is aimed to raise awareness on the difficulties faced by SCI individuals in conflict zones. As signatory to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities (UNCRPD), Nigeria is under obligation to ensure that all persons with disabilities (PWDs) are given priority in conflict situations. Experience has shown that persons with disabilities, especially wheelchair users, are often left behind or abandoned during evacuation in disasters and conflicts. This comes from discrimination, lack of preparation and planning, inaccessible facilities, and transportation systems. To ensure PWDs are properly cared for when disaster comes, organizations of persons with disabilities, political authorities, public administrations, and civil society organizations (CSD) should be involved in planning strategies for tackling disasters and conflicts. Emergency plans should consider the fact that most spinal cord injured persons use wheelchairs, and as such, their location and emergency needs should be known and assessed before disaster strikes. The Abia State House of Assembly on Wednesday passed the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Bill into law. The Speaker of Abia State House of Assembly, Chinedum Orji, while making the announcement during a plenary, said the law will be cited as the Abia State Commission for Disabled Persons Law. Orji congratulated his colleagues and said that the Seventh Assembly was committed to promoting people-oriented bills. He announced that the bills, upon being assented to by the Governor, Okeze Ifeazu, should be deemed to have come into force August 21, 2022. The sponsor of the bill and Deputy Majority Leader, Mr. Paul Taribo, described it was a landmark bill that will go a long way in placing the destiny of persons with disabilities in their hands. Taribo, who is representing Akwa East, expressed gratitude to the Speaker and other members of the House of their support in ensuring the passage, and confident that it will soon be assented to by the governor and implemented in order to give persons with disabilities a set of belongings. Meanwhile, the Executive Director of Center for Citizens with Disabilities, CCD, Mr. David Anyonele, who has been fighting for the welfare of persons with disabilities, applauded the lawmakers for the passage. Anyonele described the passage as a strong demonstration by the lawmakers that all lives are precious, in particular the lives of residents with disabilities. He stated that persons with disabilities in Abia State are the most excluded in governance at the subnational level in Nigeria due to absence of legal framework for the protection of the rights and dignity. With the passage of this bill, the end of exclusion of Abia residents with disabilities in governance by state and more state actors is coming to an end. He called on the clerk, Mr. Pedro Irokansi, to speedily clean up the bill for onward transmission to the governor for his assent. He equally urged the governor not to hesitate to sign the bill into law, as his wife has committed so much to get this bill passed. The National Population Commission has disclosed that the country's next population census will be held after the 2023 general elections scheduled for March. The NPC chairman Alhaji Nasser Kwara stated this on Monday during his visit to the former Commonwealth Secretary General, Chief Emeka Anyaoku in Ikoyi. Kwara, who was accompanied by a delegation of members of the NPC, who are federal commissioners, noted that the country has been ripe for another census since 2016 and will deploy technology in the next exercise. He said, "We came here to seek support for the 2023 census. In the last trial census we conducted, we made sure all political parties has done their primaries in June. Then in July, we conducted ours and the results has come out favorably. In the same way, after the general elections held in March, we will still wait for some time in case there are grievances. Then we will commence the population census and we will deploy technology in order for it to be accurate, transparent, and properly verify the data." The Executive Secretary, National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, Mr. James David Lalu, 5th of September 2022, in his office, he received an audience, a delegation for the Albino Foundation, and declared that the synergy between the Commission and the Foundation would accentuate the political participation of PWDs across the country. Speaking at the meeting, the Executive Secretary described the visit as a platform that will promote visibility and inclusion of persons with disabilities, especially during voting exercise. This is an opportunity to continue to negotiate our inclusion and social determine who occupies the position of authority in the interest of persons with disabilities. Mr. James Lalu reaffirms that voter ability is an important platform for PWDs to demonstrate their strength in the polity. The Executive Secretary commended the project intended by the Foundation with support from European Union and informed that it is in line with the Commission's mandate and vision. According to him, sign language has come to stay and will be given express attention. We have equally gone a step further to facilitate the national policy on sign language, he explained. Lastly, the Executive Secretary informed that signing of MOU will be facilitated very soon so as to commence the project execution process. Earlier in his address, the founder and CEO of Albino Foundation, Mr. Jackie Epele, unequivocally announced that the Executive Secretary is the right man for the job. He subtly acknowledged the resilience and passion demonstrated by the ES over the years in addressing disability-related matters. The Cedar Seed Foundation has called for support from stakeholders within and without the education sector as it continues its advocacy for its implementation of the national policy on inclusion education in Gombe State. CSF Chief Executive Officer Leos Alter, while delivering a goodwill message at a town hall meeting on 24th of August, observed that most people do not really know what inclusive education is all about. According to her, that's why we started the advocacy for the national policy of inclusive education to be implemented in Gombe State. Rebecca Azan, Cedar Seed Monitoring and Evaluation Officer, who spoke on behalf of the CEO, noted that the organization's priority is to help children with disability mingle together with their peers. She said the organization is advocating for all PWDs to be part of inclusive education. She charged stakeholders to join efforts to ensure the inclusive education policy starts working in Gombe State. Speaking on behalf of DG Danjuma Kaka, said the organization will associate with Cedar Seed Foundation to see to the success of the policy implementation. We will support in all the 6 local governments as in areas LGAALs by creating awareness through the media. Traditional rulers and the religion leaders have a great role to play towards the success of inclusive education. We will support them in whatever capacity we can, he said. State-to-State Grant Specialist Silas Daniel Douglas said inclusion of this policy is our priority. We are aware of what Cedar Seed Foundation is doing in this policy implementation. So it's our desire that it will come to pass, so our brothers and sisters will not feel excluded. Douglas further noted that SUBEB has already started work on its policy. According to him, it is our desire that the state government will acquire more facility to expedite the success of implementation. On our own part, we are doing our best to see that the policy is being implemented and sustained. Thank you for staying with us. Please kindly like, share, comment on our social media handles on your screen. Until next week, bye.